all know motor racing can get dangerous out there on the track. Well, it can be pretty nasty in the pits too when things go wrong. Just like today, refueling in the pits could have its moments.
Dick Seaman brings his car into the pits, and he's looking just a little nervous, although you wouldn't think it from the way he'd been driving. When Von Brauchitsch pits, all's not well, and his car catches fire, and so does he. The trouble with methanol-based fuel is that you can't see it burn easily, and he's out the car trying to put the flames out. Seaman, very smartly, gets back into the race whilst they sort out number 12. By the time Von Brauchitsch leaves the pits, he's lost too much time, but soldiers on in his singed car. He thinks it might last the distance. Meanwhile, Hans Stuck battles on. Von Brauchitsch removes his wheel. He admits it's all over. Driving for all his worth, Nuvolari could make no impression on the Mercedes-Benz drivers, who were having it all their own way. Another quick pit stop, and he's on his way too. And Hermann Lang at the carousel, too late to catch Seaman. And Stuck in third spot on the last lap. So the race runs out with Dick Seaman the very worthy winner. This most professional of British drivers was much liked by his German co-drivers. Stuck managed to struggle in third and Nuvolari fourth, but there was plenty of work to do back at Zwickau if they were to catch up. The new formula for 1938 called for separate classes of supercharged and unsupercharged engines. Dr. Porsche's contract was not renewed at the end of 37, and Eberhard Eberhorst became design chief. His new engine was a 60-degree V12 with 3 camshafts for valve control, whereas there was only 1 previously. This made the engine more complicated, but increased its rev range. Instead of a maximum weight, there was now a minimum weight, and the new car weighed 850 kilograms, excluding water, oil, fuel and driver. A striking new feature of the car was the new rear axle. Gone were the Porsche swing axles in favour of a de Dion rigid tube with twin fabricated radius arms. The fuel tank was no longer at the rear, but positioned at the side of the driver. All this reduced the car's length by 17 centimetres and put the driver more in the middle of the car. During the course of the season, the Auto Union team demonstrated that rare ability to make something out of a seemingly hopeless situation and fight its way to the front. After Rosmar's death, all hopes depended on the Italian champion Tazio Nuvolari. During the Swiss Grand Prix in the previous year, he'd been given the chance to drive for Auto Union and very sportingly had handed his car over to Rosmar when his own car had mechanical problems. This fabulous contemporary colour footage was shot by George Monkhouse, the European Kodak representative who became a great friend to Dick Seaman. In the autumn, Nuvolari won the Italian Grand Prix at Monza and then went to Donington Park for the second Grand Prix there. The race was on the same bumpy, twisty circuit that was used the year before. The Brits were totally enthralled that all the European greats had turned out for their race, including their own homegrown hero Dick Seaman. But there was no stopping Nuvolari, who really had the bit between his teeth and put on a show worthy of his predecessor, Rosmar. The pace was fast and furious, with Mercedes drivers pitted against the Auto Union drivers. Stuck was really keen to do well here, but try as he might, he couldn't catch his Italian teammate, in spite of some really great pit work from his crew. Seaman drove like a man possessed in front of his home crowd on a track he raced on in his early career. Here Nuvolari leads Lang and Seaman on Mercedes-Benz and Muller and Auto Union. But with oil down on the track, it got quite treacherous, much to the consternation of the spectators. Fortunately, no one was hurt, although the car did get a bit dented. That's an 8-cylinder supercharged Maserati 8CTF chasing the Mercedes. But Nuvolari ran out a very worthy and popular winner. He too was very much loved in the United Kingdom ever since his win in the Tourist Trophy some years before. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll see the Silver Arrows alive and well.